The legal battle between North Carolina's Lieutenant Governor Mark Robertson and CNN is shaping up to be a defamation case that is, I believe, is not going to end up in court because, if you ask me, this was the nothing burger. Now, this case centers around Robertson's allegation that CNN intentionally defamed him, tarnishing his reputation and character. Well, they exposed the truth. And the fact that this man can't handle the truth, because the fact of the matter is he was already losing in his election bid to become governor. I mean, this was just the icing on the cake, right? So CNN exposing this guy for pulling out his genetic jackhammer and jacking off in porn shops, and other people exposing him for being in porn shops. Now that's defamation. No, that is the truth. That is the truth, and he can't handle the truth. Now, as the media and public figures continue to clash in a rapidly evolving political landscape, this lawsuit raises critical questions about the role of journalism, free speech, and the limits of media accountability. Well, look, these guys don't want accountability when it centers around them, but when it comes to anybody else, though, yeah, they want transparency, they want punishment, they want to see true justice. They just don't want justice being brought upon them. Now, this idiot, controversial guy has never been one to shy away from public confrontation. Since taking office, he's made headlines for his conservative views, particularly on issues related to education, gun rights, reparations, and religious freedom. His speeches and social media presence have earned him both devoted followers from the white right and fierce critics. Now, CNN, like many major media outlets, reported on Robertson's statements and actions. The tension between the two came to a head when Robertson alleged that CNN published false and defamatory information about him, portraying him in a negative light and misrepresenting his views. He argues that the coverage not only damaged his reputation, but also caused harm to his career and personal life. No, that's not it. That's not it, Mark Robertson, right? What caused your political career to go down the toilet because of the extreme views that you put out on TV. Because, see, you can't do the stuff that you do and then expect, people just to be in blind deference to you for support. No, that's not how that works, sir. That's not how that works. Now, you can say whatever you want to say, but the fact of the matter is, you're busted. You got busted. You got busted. So you want to sit up here and talk about people put out salacious lies about you? No, ain't nobody putting out no salacious lies about you. The fact of the matter is, you got busted. Now you got to eat that cake, anime. You got to eat the cake on that one. You're done. What's up, Black Spider? My sister in the building. GG Chiller 702. Good to see you as well. Right? We're gonna get right to the smoke. We're gonna play this audio, not audio. We're gonna play this video. Right? Fair use of him trying to challenge CNN. His little doofus lawyer right next to him. DJ, spin that shit.
Good morning. Thank you for all of y'all being here today. Today, we are taking the first step to do exactly what I said I was going to do after these scurrilous attacks were launched against myself and my family. We are holding CNN accountable, and we are going to get to the bottom of what's going on here. And we are glad to be here today to be able to do that. I said at the very beginning, What this amounts to is, to quote Clarence Thomas, this is a high-tech lynching on a candidate who has been targeted from day one by folks who disagree with me politically and want to see me destroyed.
Okay, so what's this thing about high-tech lynching? When you the same guy that was calling for lynching to be brought back, right? Considering that lynching never left, because there was a guy in your state, Mark Robinson, that got lynched recently. Matter of fact, it was last month. There was a black guy who was lynched and was found hanging from a tree. Why did you talk about that? Huh? Why didn't you address that situation? But you sitting up here talking about high-tech lynching. Bro, if you don't get your ass out of here.
And so we are glad to take these first steps to fight back against what we consider to be one of the greatest examples of political interference in this state's history and quite possibly this nation's history.
So let me get this straight. You getting exposed for pulling out your genetic jackhammer and jacking off in a porn shop and having a username that's been tied to you in various websites, right? So you getting exposed because you out here being a goddamn freak, right? You out here being a goddamn creeper. You getting exposed for that is some kind of lynching, right? Against you. You getting exposed for being a sexual deviant is an assassination on your character. No. So you can't take responsibility for your actions. But when you get exposed for the actions you took, then all of a sudden now it is this impact on your political. Get your ass out of here, man. Okay? Make it make sense. Because had it been a Democrat that done that, your big bulbous ass would be on TV plastering that all over. Well, did you see my competition? Right? If your Democratic opponent got exposed for that, wouldn't you take that and use that against him in your bid to become governor? Make it make sense. What's up, too, Raw? That's you. All that stuff on New Africa and you calling yourself some kind of black Nazi or some shit like that, that's you. Why don't you address that? But no, you want to call yourself trying to sue CNN because CNN exposed your dumb ass. You didn't have enough sense that God gave a coconut to delete all that stuff. What's up? What's up, too, Raw? Boy, dude. So make it make sense there, Marky. Make it make sense.
And with that, I'll turn it over to my attorney, Jesse Bernal.
Yeah, just like how you turned over pancakes on the skillet on the Sunday there, buddy.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. A few weeks ago, my team set out on this investigation. We were determined to follow the facts. The investigation was guided by those facts. The team that
see, there you go. You stuttering and stammering all over. Look how Mark Robinson looking at you. Look how he looking at you. You stuttering and stammering. That's your first clue. This is a nothing burger. That this so-called investigation that led to the fact. What facts did you find? That he did have some IP addresses attached to his username, right? That he did had an account on New Africa. That he did say the stuff that he said on those websites, right? But he sitting up there talking about those salacious lies against him and this some kind of high-tech lynching. The fuck out of here.
that was involved in this investigation included a number of attorneys, including seasoned trial attorneys and former federal prosecutors. The investigation was led by a former FBI special agent, and we had a number of other specialists that were highly involved in going down and following the facts, knocking on doors, picking up the telephone, and also using the full range of technology resources available to us in order to fully investigate.
Okay, so what come out of this investigation? Because right now you said a whole bunch of stuff, but you ain't really saying nothing. You ain't saying nothing right now. You just said a whole bunch of words, but you ain't saying shit. So what come out of this investigation?
The lawsuit that we filed today is the first step, the first fruit of that investigation. We have worked tirelessly to get to the truth for the sake of Lieutenant Governor Robinson, his family, and the voters of North Carolina. And then today in Wake County Superior Court, we filed a defamation lawsuit against the cable news network and Lewis Money. That lawsuit lays out the effort to, as the Lieutenant Governor said, use a high-tech lynching in order to interfere with North Carolina's 2024 gubernatorial election.
So again, what the fuck is this high-tech lynching stuff, right? Because we got people really getting lynched out here in the United States. Black folks are continuing to this very day is getting lynched. And you sitting up here talking about some kind of high-tech lynching against you. The fact that you would use that term to shield you from any kind of accountability is disgusting there, Mark Robinson. It's disgusting. See, this is off-brand, off-court behavior I talk about. Now, he don't want to talk about all those people that have jumped ship since he got exposed. He don't want to talk about that. He don't want to talk about the many people who has left this campaign, right? He don't want to talk about how he's trailing by double digits to his Democratic opponent. He don't want to talk about none of that. Now all of a sudden, now you the victim. You the victim, Mark Robinson. See, straight out the Donald Trump playbook. Play the role of victim so he can get us. He garnered some sympathy votes. The fuck out of here.
We expect to find that there are more bad actors that have been involved in this process to interfere with the election. And
again, who are these actors, right? Because both Republicans and Democrats use these tactics to gain advantage over their political opponent. But Mark Robinson wanted to sit up here and talk about some kind of high-tech lynching, and he wanted to quote Clarence Thomas, the modern-day Uncle Ruckus and Clarence Thomas. Really, Mark Robinson? So, where Donald Trump at? Huh? Where Donald Trump at? Is Donald Trump going to come save you? Huh?
Is more to come. And let me say this. There have been those that have tried to interfere with our investigation by stonewalling. And to them, I will say that we will use every tool at our disposal now that a lawsuit has been filed, including the subpoena power, in order to continue pursuing the facts. And you will not be able to hide behind stonewalling.
So who are these people trying to stonewall you, huh? Who are these people? What company or what entity is trying to stonewall you from exposing the truth when it comes to Mark Robinson? The truth already out there. Mark Robinson is a goddamn creeper and he's a freak.
We will get to the truth. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, any taxpayer money. Is the lawsuit on behalf of Lieutenant Governor Robinson or the campaign or both?
As of right now, the plaintiff in the lawsuit is Lieutenant Governor Robinson.
Are you seeking cease and desist orders? Or are you seeking damages?
For a defamation lawsuit, you seek damages. We are seeking $50 million in damages for the reputational harm that has been done to Lieutenant Governor Robinson's good name.
That man don't got no good name. And what's this pay to suffer it, huh? What's this pay to suffer it what's this pay to suffer it, Mark Robinson, that you are claiming that you have, right? This mental anguish that you claim that you have it because you got exposed for being a goddamn freak, huh? Was it the mental anguish of the people go ask you questions? Is it the mental anguish that you got caught? What is this mental anguish that you're going through because CNN exposed you for being a goddamn freak and a creeper? Creeper, creeper, creeper. Right? So what you talk about? What's up, y'all? Mark Curry, Bulls fan 25. Good to see you. He died. Whoa. $22 points? Really, Mark Robinson? You down 22 points? 22 points. Oh boy, too raw. You should have told me to. Mark Robinson, you is down by 3 touchdowns. You is down by 3 touchdowns. Hey, so Mark Robinson, let me ask you a question. Were you listening to Tupac or Machiavelli? Come with me, Hail Mary, run quick, see. Because this is a Hail Mary he tried to throw up right now. This is a Hail Mary if there's anything else to deflect attention from the fact that you got exposed for being a goddamn freak. And that you been going to these goddamn porn shops in North Carolina. You just let your genetic jackhammer skeet on the wall, and you got sweat dripping down your balls and all that, right? Nasty bastard. You's a nasty bastard. This race ain't even close. You getting your ass blown out the fray.
In the course of the investigation, what did you want? I know you denied the story from the beginning, but I mean, factually, have you been able to prove that it's not true, or can you elaborate on that at all?
Yeah. What our investigation has shown so far is that there were a number of inconsistencies that were used that went beyond.
Oh, see, that's how you know this motherfucker is full of shit. He's out here on cap locks. This motherfucker out here just lying his ass off. He's stuttering, he's stammering. He's trying to search for words to say, to formulate his little talking point, right? To formulate some narrative. You know this lawyer is full of shit. Here's my question. Who the fuck's paying for this? I hope the taxpayers are not paying for this goddamn bullshit-ass lawsuit. Who's paying for this?
Journalistic standards in the way that CNN performed their reporting. First of all, let me say that we continue to, that Lieutenant Governor Robinson has always said these allegations are completely false. Our investigation has shown.
Okay, just because he says false doesn't mean it's false, right? Because he could be lying, right? So again, there's all these websites that has his username, all these different websites that has his username that's tied to him. So is someone stealing his identity? Because that could be the only surefire way that this could possibly happen. If someone stole his identity. If no one stole his identity, then it was him.
Shown that he is quite frankly right about that. That what CNN did and what others that they have worked with have done in this case is tantamount to what we truly believe is this journalistic hit job.
What do you mean it's a journalistic hit job? Look, this happens all the time. All right, this ain't Mark Robinson's first dance around the barn, right? And considering how he looks, he should be a resident expert on what it's like to be in the barn. But nevertheless, look, this ain't his first dance around the barn when it comes to this whole policy thing. He does it to his Democratic opponent, right? His Democratic opponent ain't had nothing to do with that. It was just CNN unearthing some stuff about him, and then they ran with it. And then all he gonna say is, well, these salacious lies. What do you mean? We got technology that can trace you to wherever you're at, wherever you're doing. If you try to have a VPN or wherever, or you try to do the stuff on the dark web, there's mechanisms that we can still find you, right? And this day in technology where we got retina scans and biometric scans and all these other scans and IP addresses tied to, certain accounts and stuff like that, right? That means you had to been there unless someone stole your identity, because could be the only surefire way that you never been on these places is if someone stole your identity. If no one stole your identity, then that's you. You out here wasting taxpayer money on a bullshit ass investigation to shield from the fact you getting your ass dog walked in this election race.
In order to interfere with an election. So for instance, when you use information that is taken from data breaches and you don't properly verify that information that was available to anyone on the dark web, for instance, if you take that and then put it as the truth on your website, that can be one thing that is a reckless disregard for the truth, and shows actual malice. Our lawsuit, which will be available to you, walks through that entire process and why we believe what was done was defamation. Yes, sir.
I had a question for the Lieutenant Governor.
Defamation? How is it defamation? Defamation is when you... Okay. Because see, now we got to pull out the Webster's Dictionary, right? Because see, Mark Robinson and his lawyer out here misusing terms and shit. Defamation of character is a false statement that damages a person's reputation. The legal definition of defamation varies by country, but it generally meets these standards. It injures a third party's reputation. It causes a legally redressable injury. It is not necessarily restricted to falsifiable assertions. In the English-speaking world, defamation is traditionally distinguished between libel, printed, posted online, or published in mass media, and slander. To prove defamation, you must show that the statement was false, it caused harm, and it was made with malice and negligence. So guess what? The fact that this stuff is true, guess what? It's not defamation in Mark Robinson. You're just a freak. You're just a creeper, right? And no matter how fast or how far you try to run away from your bullshit, it always catches up with you. And you out here wasting taxpayers' money. You out here wasting people's time on some bullshit ass investigation. Your stupid ass should have dropped out the election, and you should have started your new career at being a barbecue pit master.
For you, just obviously this has had an impact on polls on the election, as you guys have stated. If you don't win this election, do you have any plans or intent to primary Senator Tillis in 2026?
Attacks were launched against myself and my family.
Shut up.
Let me say that we continue to, Lieutenant Governor Robinson has always said these allegations are completely false. Our investigation has shown that he is quite frankly right about that thing. The lawsuit walks through every single, not every single one, but so far this process, and there will be more to come. Let's remember that your average federal investigation in something like this would take months and months, if not years. We have already put forward compelling evidence that CNN failed to use journalistic standards in the way they have interfered with this election. And once we have subpoena power, once we have discovery, there will be even more that will come forward.
Translation, I'm going to translate that for y'all, right? It's going to be an undisclosed settlement, right? Or this lawsuit's going to get dismissed, okay? That's what's going to really happen, right? If you think that Mark Robinson is going to win this lawsuit against CNN, you are a bigger clown than I give you credit for if you think that. This man will not win this lawsuit. This lawsuit is going to get tossed. Because, again, Two Raw pointed this out. We didn't know Mark Robinson back in 2008 or wherever this shit came out. Whenever he was in North Carolina, going to these different porn shops, giving the employees pizza, and he was going to the little boo-boo room next to Pee Wee Herman allegedly, and he was going to town looking at, some white girl shaking her bucky all over the goddamn screen. And even more sinister and more crazy fetishes that's ever in his head, right? Because he was out there, he likes tranny porn allegedly. What's up, Big Wash? This man likes tranny porn. So these IP addresses are being traced back to this man. So what are we doing here? We out here wasting time, wasting money, right? This man out here running a goddamn failed campaign. He is a chief without a tribe, right? He is a king without subjects, right? He is a individual who is on the island by himself. Everybody that was riding with him, right? All the white folks, right? Because he would dare lie himself with other black folks. They've all left him. He's sitting up there talking about how he and Trump are running separate campaigns, but mind you, just a couple months ago, Trump was calling this man Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids. Now Trump don't want nothing to do with him. Oh, now we run a separate campaigns. No, you weren't like that a few months ago. A few months ago, you was dying to be next to Trump. You was dressing like Donald Trump. You was acting like Donald Trump. Now y'all run a separate campaign. Y'all running your own campaign. Get the fuck out of here. This is what you get for being a coon. Yeah, because you thought you was gonna ride that coon train to the governorship. Only problem for Mark Robinson is that coon train has come to a complete halt. That coon train has derailed, and all the lies and all the bullshit he was spouting out is now starting to blow up in his face. The chickens have come home to roost, you fuck.
He's alleging that what the reporting said is not true. The lieutenant governor did not make any of these.
Yes, we are alleging it is false, and that's what our lawsuit says.
When will the earliest for discovery? When do we see discovery?
That's something that's up to the court system. We are moving as fast as possible.
So what makes it false? That's the question we tried to say. Or that's the question we tried to ask. What makes it false? Because he don't specify what makes it false. That's how you know this lawsuit is a nothing burger. And again, taxpayers are the ones that's paying for this sham.
To get answers to this question, but of course there is a litigation process.
Have you been in contact with any of the editorial staff over at CNN, any of the reporters that were involved, the editor that oversaw the publication of the story, or what has been your extent of your...
So you sued CNN, but you're not going to sue the guy who made the report? Because I didn't hear anything about the guy that actually made the report. Is he being sued? Huh? This is the same thing that Brett Favre and Jake Van Landenham tried to do to Adam Wolf. But Adam Wolf exposed them for their little corruption they did down the great old state of Mississippi, right? This is an attempt to silence the journalists. This is what's going on right now. This is an attempt to silence the journalists, and this is an attempt to try to undercut that Supreme Court ruling back in 1964. Because see, Clarence Thomas already hinted that they're going to revisit that Supreme Court case in 1964 with the New York Times or whatever like that. And when it comes to First Amendment rights and what protections that the media has. But yeah, Mark Robinson, you fucking clown, you just got busted. You just got busted. Now you are here trying to, play the role of sympathy. because you got busted. No, you don't get no sympathy over here, you stupid fucking coon.
We have asked CNN for retraction. They have declined to do so.
Why should they?
We have asked to be able to examine the data that CNN used in their reporting. They have declined to give us access to that information.
Look, because unlike Mark Robinson, you know, whoever wrote that article, you know, he has probably a little bit of journalistic integrity in him. Because as a reporter, as a journalist, you're only as good as your last article.
They have declined to show their work.
Why? Why should they show their work to you?
And how they arrived at these conclusions.
So, lawyer, I don't know who you is, but you're an idiot. I don't know why you got your law license, but it needs to be revoked, okay? Mark Robinson turned down help from people who was willing to help him uncover those where those IP addresses came from or whatever like that, right? You had companies offering to help Mark Robinson when he made the claim that these things was false, and he turned it down. Make it make sense. He turned it down. Because see, that's what Mark Robinson ain't gonna tell you. I talked about it on this channel, about how he turned down help to uncover these so-called lies about him. Make it make sense.
And so we, in this process, have and will continue to try to get to the bottom of it. But that's one of the importance of the discovery process is we will now be able to get a number of pieces of information from CNN and from other third parties through the discovery process.
Are you
behind this hit job?
I'm sorry?
Who's behind this hit job?
There are a number of other parties that we believe that we'll be able to come forward with in time to show the breadth of people who have decided to engage in this high-tech lynching. But I'm not going to do what CNN did by using guesses to put those names out there right now. What we are going to do is continue our investigation in a professional way. And once we have the solid information, then that will be part of our lawsuit.
Are you finding any evidence to suggest so far that this is some kind of AI deepfake to backdate these posts on the site? Or are you simply proving through this lawsuit that they have inadequately proven the evidence to back up the claims in the story?
They haven't given us any information that would allow us to know any of that one way or another, because again, we have asked for them to be able to show their work, for us to be able to do an audit of the resources that they've used. And the fact that these posts were taken down off of the relevant website so soon after the reporting, and the fact that CNN,
Who took it down? So obviously CNN didn't take it down. So who took it down? See, you already stepped in it. You got caught. Because it was Mark Robinson's team of whoever he brought on to try to clean this shit up. And then he would talk about all these salacious lies against me. You got caught. You big dummy. This lawyer here is incompetent as a day's law.
CNN hasn't come forward to allow that full audit of their information, has made that difficult so far, which is, again, why the discovery process is so important.
The Twitter account that was cited by CNN in its report only started in, I believe, September 2018, but the reporting actually cited posts from before that from that handle. And if you go and you look at that Twitter account now, it appears to be, honestly, it looks like a 4chan troll account, but it points to Josh Stein's website. Do you have any comment on that?
I think that these are all great issues that we will continue to look at. And you're exactly right. There's a number of the technological issues of these cases and everything from Twitter accounts to IP addresses and everything that right now don't make sense. And that is why our investigation is continuing. And that is why we think as more and more information comes out, it will become more and more clear that this is nothing but the high-tech lynching.
You said it's a defamation lawsuit, but you keep bringing up this term of election interference. You're saying that CNN tried to interfere in discriminatory ways. Can you elaborate a little bit on what that entails on your part?
Yeah, what does that mean? Because CNN don't got no horse in the race. You sitting up here talking about CNN try to interfere in the election in North Carolina when they're a national news source. So how are they interfering in the election? It's so stupid.
Absolutely. So defamation is the publication of false statements. The election interference here shows is one of the things that can show actual malice in a case. When in a defamation case, when we have to show that something was done with an organization that knew the information was false or made it with a reckless disregard for the truth. Election interference provides the motive there for them to do that, which is why this is very much an election interference case.
So you're saying that a national, a global news organization is conspiring with a third-party outfit to throw an election that was already looking like the person was happening.
Thank you. So, a reporter who actually asked the question with some sense. Exactly. CNN is not just on a national scale, but they're on a global scale. But yet, they so fixated on what's going on in North Carolina with Mark Robinson, right? Make it make sense. So they specifically targeted him. Make it make sense, man. Look, man. Look, Mark Robinson, look. Stick a fork in you, you're fucking done. Okay? You're done. You lose by damn near 3 touchdowns, and if not more by 3 touchdowns, to Josh Stein out there in North Carolina. What are you talking about? This high-tech lynching. They ain't no high-tech lynching. You just a fucking low... You're not more than low-hanging fruit. And again, you wasting people's time. You and your dimwit lawyer.
I'm saying that a left-wing media outlet is going to do everything they can to stop this man from being governor because they know that this man has an ability to connect with voters in a way that, quite frankly, scares them. And they don't want him to be involved in politics at any level. And so that's, I think that's what we've seen here.
What are the allegations in the suit against Lewis Money? You mentioned he's one of the defendants in what you filed.
Yeah, the allegations are also that Lewis Money and his activities were also defamatory, and the lawsuit will lay out everything as regards to Lewis Money.
You said that there is a list of people that you believe to be involved. Is that outlined in the complaint?
There's a number of people involved.
Right. Is that outlined in the complaint?
The investigation is ongoing. We don't name every single person that we believe to be involved at this point because that would be irresponsible, and we are not going to.
That's just him hiding behind that little legal lingo or all this legal jargon or whatever like that, right? The fact of the matter is they ain't got nothing. That's the fact of the matter, because if they had something, their names would have been named in the lawsuit as well.
To go down the same trap as we believe CNN has done, for instance, and get ahead of ourselves. But we do believe, and our investigation has led us to believe that this is the tip of the iceberg. This is not by any stretch of the imagination.
No, Mark Robertson like the tips of tranny dicks. That's what that is.
The end.
So logistically, in terms of the way that the CNN story was put out with screenshots and posts, like, you think would all of that just have been manufactured essentially, is what you're alleging?
Those posts could have been made by anyone, I think, and we believe it is very suspect that they were taken down. So,
yeah, because he hired people to take them down. So let me get this straight.
After
let me get this straight.
The story ran with.
Again, when this information came out, Mark Robinson went and hired people to take this information down, to clean it up. And after he cleaned it up, that's when he want to come back around and talk about all these salacious lies out there against him because he never done anything. And the screenshots is out there. It's tied to him. There's no way that he can sit up here and concoct this bullshit and then think that we won't see through the scam. Because it was only after he got exposed that stuff got cleaned up. So who cleaned it up? I think he hired some people to do some damage control for him. Because again, the lawyer did not want to talk about why this man turned down offers for help to uncover the truth when he got exposed. Why did he turn down the help? Did he fear that more stuff was going to get uncovered? So why he turned down help? That's what the law. All right, I'm back, y'all. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Let's get right back. We're gonna let me share my screen again. We got to see this. All right. Let's go back to this part right here.
Is going to do everything they can to stop this man from being governor because they know that this man has an ability to connect with voters in a way that quite frankly scares them. And they don't want him to be involved in politics at any level. And so that's, I think that's what we've seen here.
What are the allegations in this suit against Louis Money? You mentioned he's one of the defendants in what you filed.
Yeah, the allegations are also that Louis Money and his activities were also defamatory, and the lawsuit will lay out everything as regards to Louis Money.
You said that there is a list of people that you believe to be involved. Is that outlined in the complaint?
There's a number of people involved.
Right. Is that outlined in the complaint?
The investigation is ongoing. We don't name every single person that we believe to be involved at this point because that would be irresponsible, and we are not going to go down the same trap as we believe CNN has done, for instance.
Yeah, you don't be name dropping a whole bunch of folks because, again, if you try to call yourself trying to point your finger at somebody, there's going to be like 5 fingers being pointed back at you.
And get ahead of ourselves. But we do believe, and our investigation has led us to believe that this is the tip of the iceberg. This is not by any stretch of the imagination the end.
So logistically, in terms of the way that the CNN story was put out with screenshots and posts, like you think would all of that just have been manufactured essentially, is what you're alleging?
Those posts could have been made by anyone, I think, and we believe it is very suspect that they were taken down so soon after the story ran without an ability to do.
Hey, what's up, Aunt Jams? Yeah, that's a great point that you made. That's a great point that you made as far as how they vote in North Carolina, because that's absolutely facts.
Do a full investigation on those. And let's remember, this is something that the allegations here are of a supposed event years and years and years ago. One of the things that our FBI investigator brought up to us is how much more difficult this is than doing a regular FBI investigation, because if somebody brought this to the FBI, they would say, there's nothing we can do here, it's past the statute of limitations, and so they wouldn't even investigate it. Because when you have to go back, over a dozen years in order to look at information, in order to prove somebody's innocence just based on spurious allegations alone, it makes it very, very difficult, which is why I'm particularly proud of our team, and in just the few short weeks that we've had this, how far we've been able to go to show the falsity of this story.
So what's false about it? Because again, all those IP addresses trace back to him. So what's false? That's what they're not saying. They're just out here putting out this goddamn old word salad, wasting people's time and money. What's false? Because I can tell you one thing that's true. Mark Robinson is going to get his ass beat on November 5th. That's one thing that's going to be true. Another thing that's going to be true is that Donald Trump and his team has distanced himself from Mark Robinson. That's another thing that's true. This man is on the island by himself. The only person that don't realize it is him.
If your proof is so good, why aren't other Republicans standing with you by yourself?
That's another good question that journalist asked, right? If these Republicans, his fellow contemporaries, have asked him to provide the evidence, right? If what they're saying is true, or what they're saying is false, why not go after him, right? And that nobody has stood with him. All the people that was in Mark Robinson's campaign, they were all white, they all left him. There ain't no Republican that's in the Senate or in the House or wherever is standing with them, right? All these black conservatives like Jesse Lee Peterson and Larry Elder and Wesley Hunt and Byron Donalds, where all they at? Where all they at? Huh? Tim Scott, where they all at? Defending them, right? Where they all at supporting them, right? Where they at? Where they at? They're seeing that there's this lynching going on against their quote unquote brother, right? And yet you don't hear Byron Donalds coming out here defending him. You don't hear Tim Scott out here defending him. You don't hear Wesley Hunt out here defending him. No Burgess Owens. You don't hear none of these dudes out here defending Mark Robinson. He's sitting up here name dropping Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas ain't even think about him. Clarence Thomas think about his next grift. You don't hear Candace Owens out here talk about there's some kind of political persecution. You don't hear none of these black conservatives on the right standing up and defending this man. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how much of a sham this goddamn investigation is. Where they at? Huh? Where they at? I'm just asking the question because I observe what's going on and I'm formulating my opinion based on my observations. I haven't seen not one black conservative come out and defend Mark Robinson. Not one. Make it make sense.
We stand with the voters of, or the Lieutenant Governor Robinson stands with the voters of North Carolina. Our job is not to go convince politicians or bureaucrats. This case is for the courts. We're going to go make our case in court.
Yeah, in the court of law, but you got to prove that you actually did have mental anguish, right? Because you're going to have to prove that you went to go see a doctor and that a doctor has a detailed history of you being at the doctor, doing these visits, having these counseling sessions, How much of an impact does it had on you and all that? You got to prove all that in court. You just can't, wake up out of bed one day and see some CNN or expose against you. Then all of a sudden, now you got mental anguish. The fuck out of here, man. So let me get this straight. You had all this mental anguish, but yet you still found enough strength to go campaign all over North Carolina, right? You had enough strength to still lie to those voters about whatever they want to talk about, right? Whether it be about the economy, illegal immigration, whatever make your biggest sizzle at the time, right? And give it by your friend, Mark Robinson, you've had a lot of bacon in your lifetime, right? We're not even going to talk about the salacious lies that the media put out against me. What they will talk about is you. But yet you find all the time in the world to talk about us and talk about how we don't deserve reparations of anything is we who owe, right? Now, all them white folks that you called yourself pandering to has jumped off the ship. They jumped off the gravy train. They see no more value in you. All your donors have left you, right? Your side hoes won't fuck you, right? You by yourself.
This case is for a jury.
How much money is this all costing?
I mean, any lawsuit costs money, and that's one of the real harms here. This is something that's so disgusting, is that rather than being out on the campaign trail full time, like he actually, frankly, he is, talking about the voters of North Carolina, when you have such an effort.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Are you his lawyer or you his cheerleader, right? Because as a lawyer, you should give two pieces of flying rat shit about what he's doing or what he's doing in regards to his political campaign. You have nothing to do with that. You should give two pieces of flying rat shit about that. So you go from his lawyer to his pom-pom shaker now? With your big old Dumbo ears.
At election interference, it's an attempt to distract. It's an attempt to try to use lawfare in order to force people to use financial resources on fighting back against rumors and innuendos, rather than getting out there and talking about the issues that are important to vote.
Hey, GG Chillin, I thought that, but I wasn't going to say that. But since you put it in the chat room now, you know what? Yeah. So I had to stop the where you at? There you are. So I had to stop. I had to get off the internet because that internet was messing up my stream or whatever like that, man. So I had to go mobile. So I apologize for that. But anyway, yeah, Mark Robinson, you're done. Okay. The fact of the matter is, you're wasting people's time. You're wasting people's energy when it comes to this sham of a lawsuit, right? Because, again, if I haven't said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Unfortunately, it's the taxpayers who's paying for this stuff. He's not coming out his own pocket with this lawsuit. The taxpayers is paying for this shit. What's up, 007 Spidey? We say, do you think the Dixie Mafia is in NC? I wouldn't be surprised if they're not. I wouldn't put it past them. Hell yeah, I think they're down there. But yeah, Mark Robinson, you're done. Because even if, right? Even if this stuff gets uncovered, we won't know this for weeks. We won't know this for weeks. So what more? What more are we gonna is gonna get exposed? Because the clerk that he tried to call himself going after, yeah, that clerk filed a motion to dismiss his lawsuit. It said the man who is being sued alongside CNN by North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson for what Robinson alleges are defamatory claims has filed a motion to dismiss the claim. Robinson and his attorney Jesse Banal, who represented former President Trump in multiple cases, including his unsuccessful attempt to have the 2020 election thrown out, announced that they filed that defamation lawsuit, right? And we just saw the interview on that. So on Thursday, Louis Money and his legal team filed a motion to get the lawsuit thrown out. Now, the motions alleges that Robinson's complainant contains many impertinent and bizarre allegations meandering to discussions of George Soros. I don't even know why George Soros has anything to do with this, but anyway, conspiracies about media bias and applauding Mark Robinson for lifting himself out of bankruptcy. The motion also alleges that Robinson's legal counsel violated Rule 8 of North Carolina General Statutes. That statute pertains to general rules of pleading claims for relief. So on August 11th, 2024, local Brand Trailer Park Orchestra put out a music video for the song "The Lieutenant Governor Owes Me Money." Where the front man, defendant Louis Money, sings about making a bootleg poor tape for Mark Robinson and said that Robinson still owes him $25. Oh my Lord have mercy, boy! You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, in the music, in the music video, a man in the suit wearing a genetic rubber mask of a black man intended to depict Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson enters a pornography video store to view and purchase pornographic videos. In the music video, the defendant, Money, repeatedly addressed the song to Mark and to Mr. Robinson, further identifying the subject as the first black man to hold the title of Lieutenant Governor. The lyrics of the song falsely accused Lieutenant Governor Robinson of owing money to a bootleg porn video that the defendant Money supposedly produced for him, which is the basis of the song's title. When the band did the video, it was an inside joke. We got an album coming out called The Stories. So when he became Lieutenant Governor, it was like, well, how do I not write this song? It's a true story. Money said he loved the lawsuit. I was immediately thinking that I hope that the Trailer Park Orchestra got about 20,000 more views on Spotify and YouTube. North Carolina political news, The Assembly, which the lawsuit described as a major online publication with links to George Soros, whatever, posted an article on September 3rd entitled "Ex-Pawn Shop Employees Say Mark Robinson Was a Regular. He Denies It." It features a picture of Robinson and Money posing together at Planet Fitness. What you doing at Planet Fitness? The article's author spoke with Money and other people identified as former video store employees who claimed they knew Robinson in the late 90s and early 2000s, and that he frequented his video store. Money characterized him in the article as visiting and using the private rental booth almost nightly, sometimes until the early hours of the morning. Really, Mark Robinson? You in there jacking off until the wheel. So you go in there from 10 to 6, just on there, just pulling out your genetic jackhammer, jacking all over the booth, huh? You nasty bastard. Anyway, Money said he sold the videos to Robinson for roughly $25. Money estimates Robinson paying him thousands of dollars over the years for these videos. Money told Fox 8 Robinson would pay him with a post-dated check for the videos, except for one obtained while in New York City at a music festival. I said, I'm going up to New York. You know how the porn shops are out there. Do you want me to get you something we can't get down here? Money said. All of them said, yeah. I grabbed it, I dubbed it, I gave it to him. Now, Money was 19 when he started working at the porn shop formerly located along Gate City Boulevard near Holden Road. Robinson was already a customer, and I just came in working. We just became friends, Money said. He was almost like a stand-up comedian. He would have us and everyone around that was in the store just laughing. However, Robinson states that in the lawsuit that he categorically did not visit these video shops to buy or rent porn. He said at the time that he was working at Papa John's and that nearby was an adult video store where the defendant Money worked at. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, who has always been a gregarious, outgoing person, made friends with the defendant Money, who also worked the night shift. He would occasionally bring over free pizza and socialize. Get your ass out of here. I think you spent more time eating that pizza more than anything else. Now, according to the lawsuit, Robinson was not spending hours at the video store 5 nights a week. He was not renting or previewing videos. And he did not purchase bootleg others from defendant Money. When Robinson managed the closing shift, usually at around midnight, he went home after work so he could wake up at a reasonable hour and spend time with his wife and 2 young children. Robinson stopped working at Papa John's in or about early 2001, and then from then until 2022, he never saw defendant Money again. Okay, whatever, you little liar. This lawsuit states the nature of their relationship. In 2022, they bumped into each other at Planet Fitness, and while Robinson did not specifically remember Money, he took a photo from him, which was then used in the article. Make it, Lord have mercy, that shit don't even make sense, man. Now, 16 days after the article was published, CNN published "I'm a Black Nazi." The GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on porn forums. The CNN article alleges that Robinson made a range of comments that vary from identifying himself as a black Nazi, insulting Martin Luther King Jr., and voicing a desire to own slaves. This article also alludes to the existence of sexually explicit comments that CNN would not publish due to the graphic nature. Now, in the CNN article, the authors claim that the comments were made by a user on the pornography site New Africa with the username Mini Soldier, the same name Robinson had used on his personal X, then Twitter, and YouTube at the time. The New Africa user disclosed biographical details that matched Robinson, including age, location, year of marriage, and used several specific terms or phrases that Robinson had also used. The CNN article also falsely claimed that Lieutenant Governor Robinson, as a married man, created an account on Adult Friend Finder, which is a website used to find sexual partners. In addition to New Africa and Adult Friend Finder, Robinson's team also referenced claims regarding Ashley Madison. We all know about Ashley Madison. That's the website that, you know, if you're married, you want to go in there and find your little fling for the night, you go on Ashley Madison, right? Website for married people seeking affairs. In the news release with the lawsuit, within the section containing what they describe as key excerpts of the investigation outlined the complaint, Robinson's team writes, as CNN is aware, people who create accounts on websites like New Africa, Adult Friend Finder, and Ashley Madison prefer not to use their own names and identities for obvious reasons.
Well, Mark Robinson ain't very smart. He's not very smart. The filed complaint, however, does not contain references to Ashley Madison. The accusation that Robinson's personal email address was used on Ashley Madison's website was made by Politico explicitly using the data from the affair-seeking site data breach several years ago. The CNN article does not directly reference Ashley Madison. In refuting CNN's claims, Robinson and his legal team say in the news release that CNN's article is based on data from a dubious website, supposed corroboration from indeed unverifiable data, apparently sourced from hacked. Yeah, of course, that's the tried and true defense when your ass get busted. Hey, my account was hacked. That's the tried and true defense that people always try to say when they get busted in the dark rivers. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, I say all that to say this, right? You're looking for sympathy, you ain't getting none. You're not getting no sympathy. What's up, Carla? Shout out to my sister Carla Jenkins. You ain't getting no sympathy, Mark Robinson. I told you what your next career should be. You need to go ahead, find you a little smoker, get that thing fired up, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you blowing clean smoke. You know, don't be smoking no chicken or no dirty smoke. You fat bitch. Make sure that motherfucker is on clean smoke before you put a whole hog in there, or a turkey, or some ribs in there, because that should be your next career. Just go around the country and be a barbecue pit master, and then you can tell the many white folks that's going to eat your goddamn barbecue how you was a failed gubernatorial candidate in North Carolina. Because look, you can't be the frame that you have, and you can't tell me, and you can tell me that you can't cook. I don't believe that. Nobody gets that big without being able to throw some things down in the kitchen. Unless you're Jason Whitlock. Speaking of Jason Whitlock, why Jason Whitlock ain't coming out defending you? Huh? He another dude he called himself trying to read the room, read the tea leaves and all that. But I don't see Jason Whitlock coming out here defending Mark Robinson, right? Everybody has left you. You big dumb. You should have just dropped out the election and fade into obscurity. But no, you wanted to die on that hill, and this is the price to pay for the games you play. You big dummy. You should have just dropped out the election when you could have, and be like Andrew Gillum, right? Start a podcast, grow a beard, all that shit. Yeah. Old nigga Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn, another dude that needed to retire, but I'll jump on that Bama in another video. This is all about Mark Robinson, because see, he out here wasting people's time. He's sitting up here wasting taxpayers' money on a sham investigation. And then who knows what comes out of this, because by the time we know anything more, the election is already over with. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the election is already over with now. He's already lost. The only person that don't understand that, the only person who don't realize it is him. And then your wife allegedly, has some legal issues with the Girl Scouts and all that. I'm like, look, man. Hey, this the conservative party for you. This the Republican Party for you, right? You ain't learned from Herschel Walker a couple years ago. You just can't be just hanging around a whole bunch of white folks and shit. Because when the tough gets going, or when the going gets tough, they get going. Everybody left you. Why Herschel Walker ain't coming out defending you? Huh? Where's Candace Owens at? You can't get no support from nobody? Hey man, stick a fork in this man. He is done. Okay? Hey, look, I'm telling you right now, this is probably gonna be one of the last videos I do about Mark Robinson, unless there's a court date and some new shit comes out. If some new shit come out, then I'll talk about it. But as far as I'm concerned with Mark Robinson, this man is an afterthought. He's an afterthought in his home state. He's an afterthought in the Republican Party. And to think that Jason Whitlock had the audacity to say one year that this man had the potential of becoming a presidential candidate in 2028. Jason Whitlock had the audacity to say that. Sit there and talk about how he's a man's man. All you hoes on the set, all you hoes on the right of the set, you guys ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn beta males. And Jason Whitlock on cheer pet way having asses is the prime example of a beta male. He can dish it up but can't take it. As soon as that energy get brought back to him, he start running like a little bitch. Just like this guy. He's called himself going to Planet Fitness, ain't lifting no weights. What the fuck you doing at Planet Fitness if you're not lifting no weights or getting on the treadmill? It is not designed for you to be going in the men's room and posing in the mirror looking at your big titties, Mark Robinson. You actually have to pick up a weight. You actually have to get on a treadmill. You actually have to do a pull-up while you over there at goddamn Planet Fitness. You said the only thing he was a bratwurst eating back. No, too raw. Because if Jesse Lee Peterson there, that'll be the other guy that give him stiff competition if you catch my drift, right? So that may not that may not be necessarily true, too raw. But yeah, he has a shot, right? But anyway, rules of this cloud long enough, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're not subscribing to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. I apologize for the stream messing up during earlier. I don't know what the devil was going on with the internet. It was really disrupting my train of thought, and it was really disrupting the screen. So I apologize for that. Eventually, I had to switch to mobile, where things are a little bit more stable. So, I'll do a better job next time. Making sure I have a much more stable internet connection, so I can really go in on freak shows like this. Hey, Mark Robinson. Hey, remember that song back in the day from Master P, right? Freak hoes. Bend your ass, let your knees touch your elbows. That what you be doing? Anyway, shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Hurt.